Hey, what's up, all you crazy geeks and gamers? My name is Brian Donahue, and I am your one-legged GM. Today we are doing yet another one-legged layout and design, and for that we are working on Loot and Lore 2, which is the companion book to Lair and Legends 2. Lair and Legends 2, without all the without all the front matter and without corrections and the back matter and all that fun stuff, weighed in at a hefty 397 pages so far. And I'm really happy with how it looks. And now we're on to Loot and Lore 2, which is all the loot and the lore and the bestiary. And today, actually, we are working on that bestiary. Hopefully get it done. We may even get it done on stream today. Depends on how fast I move through. We've had to make some interesting options. This is a very different layout, as we'll talk about, I'm sure. But before I get started, first of all, I do want to thank so much Danielle Mage Akila in the chat as my mod. As always, they are awesome. Thanks for joining me today. What else do we have going on? Of course, out right now is, and let me just show you the back of my head because that's how I roll. Stealing Scenes Action. Fast, friendly card game. Plays 1 to 8 players, 15 to 30 minutes, where you are a stunt person for a major star of the show, of an action movie, and it's your turn to steal the scene and become the next action star. To be fair, probably it'll be a B-rated action star, but you know, it's the way it goes, right? What else? As always, the links are in the Discord stream chat, oneleggedjam.com. The Discord link is there as well. You ought to join us there. The YouTube channel is there as well. I think that's about it. I know we've been a little bit sparse on the Wednesday night stuff lately. Been meaning to, and life is getting in the way. I hope to shift to some of that back. We're going to get back in doing that design work. For those of you who don't join us on Wednesdays, we do try to do a live action or a live world building session with input by you folks. Makes it fun, and everything we do is canon in our world, as crazy as that gets. We will also soon be starting on Wednesdays, on alternating Wednesdays. We'll be doing an actual play where we're going to have a lot of fun. It's a very episodic. I don't want to give too much away. All right, I'll give a little bit away. Think of Charlie's Angels with monsters. Yeah, it's kind of that fun. All the 80s all the time, and whether that's 1880s or 1980s, that will depend on the week or the session or whatever. Yeah, so there's a little bit of a hint as to what's coming up. Next show is not until November. It's Grand Rapids Comic-Con, where I am a guest again this year. I will be running a lot of fun stuff, including a live-action improv game. You don't want to miss that, because that's crazy. All kinds of stuff coming up. But without any further ado, what I'd like to do is go ahead and jump into our layout. So let's see if stuff works. Hey, look at that. It works. Cool. Oh, with that, since we're jumping into the layout, let's go ahead and start playing the music. And hopefully you guys can hear it. Heather, fantastic to see you. Yeah, I've missed you since TC as well. We look forward to coming back. And frankly, it's going to be a blast. We've got some fun stuff coming for TC next year. Anyways, all kinds of fun stuff. So, today for layout, I am working, as I said, on the Loot and Lore 2 book. As you see, we've gone from the blue to the green layout. A lot of it's the same style, same graphics, just changed color. And yeah, it's a cool green. So right now I'm in, well, let's see, probably call it 25 pages till the end, maybe, of the Bestiary itself. And then we get to import all the fun stuff. So right now we're working on C-Skim. As always, I know there's giant gaps there. That's artwork-ish. It's background art. So this layout's a very different layout because when I have something that is... Oh, hey, there you go. Oh, wait. When I have something like that has artwork, I have to make sure that the artwork actually is visible. And Luke and his team tend to be a bit prolific when it comes to developing all of the fun stuff about the cool monsters. So I don't always have spots for that stuff. So you can see some of the cool monsters. I love it when I get a chance to just drop one entire one on a page, like Lord Kendall here. So let's see where we're at. Picking up as of last week, we talked a little bit about. Thanks, David. I'm going to try to knock those out, anyways. Yes, yes, Smoketail. That is a very spiky boy. In fact, that is a reincarnated revenant, and looks pretty darn nasty in 5e stats, frankly. Yeah, looks pretty nasty. So as we will move on, one of the things that is important as you're doing this layout and prep stuff, if you're doing layout in InDesign, setting your styles correctly means that you can take this block of text here from the C-Skim, and in just a couple ticks, so I imported this straight from a Microsoft Word file for those of you who are joining us for the first time. And if you know your tools and if you've got everything set up properly, then you can make quick work of these things. Distribute columns evenly. Same thing in most cases. And yes, for those of you who are listening to the background music, if you can hear it at all, which I hope you can. By the way, if the background music is way too loud, please tell me. I don't know. I can barely hear it on my end, but that's stuff like that. So the last couple sessions like this, I got copyright notices, which has been interesting because I'm using a service that I pay for, specifically Twitch and YouTube Safe Music. Now, thankfully, the copyright notice, I ended up basically just telling them, hey, I use a service for this, and it should be, I promise that I actually do have the copyright permission. They've lifted it. It's awesome. All right, so see this one here, I have artwork for that, which I just finished before I started. This is the artwork for that. There's no way this is going to slim down, so I have to do artwork on there. I hate having giant blocks of, even if it's stained stuff, stains and things like that in the background. Let's try this. Oh, this is not because this is a book, this is a 2-page layout, which means I can run stat blocks and things over about, let's just put Spiky Boy there. So I can put it over the spread. Okay, this is an interesting music selection. Let's see. So if I can spread it over the page break, I can do fun stuff like that and hopefully fit all of this plus the artwork. Because this is the tough part of it. Be able to fit all of this stuff in where it's supposed to be. Which gets really interesting. Out how much of this data is going to sit here and how much of it is over and all that stuff. So the interesting thing about, I think I talked a little bit about this last week, with artwork, with a print book, you have to do everything in what's called CMYK color space. That is cyan, magenta, yellow, and black. That is how digital or offset printing is done. Because it prints varying levels of those 4 inks, one over the other. Basically, it creates plates. Anyways, technical stuff aside, you have to do that. You have to design in CMYK. Because if you don't design in CMYK, then when you do the conversion, if you ever really watch, and you don't do it right, when you convert an RGB, which is what your monitor is in and what most printers use, what most digital printers use. We're talking about that. Go from RGB to CMYK, it will throw colors off. Reds, unless they are specifically done right, go anything from orange to salmon. As we've seen with some of our own products. Not our fault, that was printer's fault. That was our first manufacturer for the Stealing Scenes action card game. It sent us a test print and it was out of. So, if you don't get it right, the colors get messed up in printing. Well, that works great for JPEGs, which are not transparent. It does not work so well with PNGs, which are transparent. So you have to convert everything. PNGs cannot be CMYK. It's a possibility in that file type. So you have to right. Oh yeah, this is gonna suck. Okay. This is where they pay me the little bucks. I'm kidding. Luke pays me well. Let's go you. A lot of space to make up. Okay. So, anyways, when you have a transparent background like Spiky Boy here, you can't do that in a PNG for digital or for offset press. So, thankfully, InDesign actually will accept entire Photoshop files. Now, fair, that makes those InDesign files huge, but works. Seriously? It's an interesting problem to run into. This is not going to go well. Sorry for the whistling. I legit whistle while I work. Please don't sue me, mouse, for that. Shift. Great, I've got all that there, and I don't have enough room for that. The problem is, if I throw this to the next page, I have a lot of space to fill. I'll have like almost an entire column to fill, and I don't like that. I don't know what I can do to avoid that. Oh. All right, fine. I really wish I had artwork for the C-skim. I don't. A few too many times so far where I've had to put the description of the monster with the picture and then follow up with the stat block just to make things fit. All right. Prideful here. Small spiky boy. Spiky boy it is. Oh. By the way, I am trying to pay attention to the chat, so if you have questions as we go, no. By the way, anywhere you see this kind of salmon pink color here, it's like 5 minutes for an incoming ad break. I'll try. 4 minutes, sorry. Where you see this kind of salmon pink, that means that it needs to be changed to usually italic. But I clear that up all at once instead of going down and hunting all those things out. That's part of the import process. So as you can see from my files here, I tag anything I have changed in CMYK. I actually tag as CMYK so that I know which ones to grab. And at the end of when I'm done with the bestiary, I can go through and go, okay, I have this Morn, I don't have a CMYK file. Did I miss it? Did I not put it in there or what? It's just another way to check, as well as the giant stack of beasts that's on here. Seriously, whoever said that we were going to end up being a paperless society? Smoking some sand. That is the sovereign glue wheel. Weird, isn't it? Because it's a giant space. Let's go. Strange right now. Send it to the back. Then we do a multiply transparency mode. I get a stain. That looks pretty good in the file. So, Stitch Sanguinite is next. Here, that is a read aloud box, at least in this file. Stitch Sanguinite. So, and I know that I have. Sovereign glue weird. Sorry, D&Ders. Next is Stitch Sanguinite. Let's go take a look and see what that artwork looks like. Alright. So I have a Photoshop file. Oh, 15 seconds of the ad break. So I will see you guys on the flip side as I work through this. I will wait to work on this till we come back out. Theoretically, anyways. As always, I'm asking myself, are we in an ad break? Ad starting soon. Anyone see if we're in an ad break yet? I swear I'm gonna get a better handle on this. I say that every week. In progress. Sweet. Okay, so if anyone's with me during that break, feel free to chat. Of course, to be with me during the ad break, you would have to actually, You know what? I never looked and saw. I realize I'm in an ad break right now. I never looked to see if the stream that I record still has the ad break. Which means if it doesn't, you guys have just seen me sitting here for 3 minutes doing this. Well, the ad break in about 5. Cool. Alrighty. Looks like we are back from the ad break. As I was saying, I kind of wonder if I really got to review some of my shows with the ad break to see what happens during the ad break. Anyways, back to what we were doing. This is a Sanguinite, Stitched Sanguinite. Sanguine Horror, something else from another. Oh, that's He Who Fights with Monsters. Awesome lit RPG series. No way affiliated with him, but alright, so what I get is this layer file. First thing I do is get rid of the background, of course. And then I really look and see yeah, lots of good hugs. I'm sure he holds on very, very tight. So I look and see what it looks like. Oftentimes, because I know it's print and I know some things are going to change, bump very subtly the darks and the lights, like that with the levels. And I make that all one layer. Makes the file smaller. Up. Try to make this as tight as possible because, frankly, there's crap less space around it. I've got to do with then I convert it from, in this case, an RGB color space called display to this one, which is the preferred color space for the printer. So now that that is there, file save as. I've remarked on it before, but I love the artwork that Luke's team comes up with and his artists come up with. So there's our final artwork for the Stitch Sanguinite. And you'll see I've got now the CNYK. So over here, now I get to see how big I get to make stuff. Start back in reformatting. And so yes, this is what I've been doing for the last 90 pages. Sorry, only 82 pages. But as I've said before, the key to doing this even halfway decently on time is to set up everything correctly first. So things like your paragraph styles. Set up the pages correctly first, so that when you hit the end of it, it just generates an auto generates one. There's a lot of little things that you can do. Take a little bit of configuration beforehand, but then save so much time. I learned this a long time ago. It's one of the reasons I can get these things done in the time frame I did. I was kind of shocked and kind of laughing at the same time. When I first got this project from Luke, I got a copy of the last project he did with them, which he did for the last Luke Moore, so I could have the layout that he liked the look of. Okay, which it was a great printed layout, absolutely. Knowing what I know about InDesign, I went into it. I was like, all right, so what does their back end look like? Can I copy their styles? Can I do, is this stuff all set up correctly or mostly correctly? Yeah, no, they had they hand did everything. Hey, Bryan, what does that mean? So like I'm doing here, where I'm just flat applying a style, like I just go, all right, I'm going to make you standard line regular. They would have had to go in, know what font style that was, know what size it was, and adjust everything by hand here. And even worse, adjust the paragraph spacing individually. I would not have survived that process mentally. Oh, dang it. Fart. See, this is where some of the stuff... So, I had a problem with one of the... one part of this import did something really, really goofy. And instead of doing... Go back. See these little blue lines right here? This tells me that this paragraph connects directly to this. This text box connects directly to this text box. If you look up here, it's a full text box, a full text box. Full page, dual columns. This is about where they did something that screwed up the template, and so I had to go back through and hand change it. So now instead of generating dual column layouts, it does single columns. They're the correct size, but it's two individual text box columns. Bothers me. Actually, there's more than that. It ticks me off, but I don't want to deal with it. Because see, now I can't just pull up this one page right here. I can't pull up this one text box and adjust everything. Anyways. So, I have to adjust them. Every time it adds something, it adds a single text box in a single column, not a single page, a single text box in a two-column layout. Where is Mr. Huggy? The hugs. large. And I will eventually drop something in the background there. How am I feeling about text image ratios? Would I like more images? Yes. Now, keep in mind, things like this are not going to be this blank. Great question, by the way. Some of my stuff, when I get done with it, I will go through. Probably will not. Yes, I know what that looks like. I did not create this. Just saying. Often I will go in and this in the background. There. So it looks more full. Text to image ratio, I don't have control over because, well, there we go. So see, I'll come in and do something like that, which makes it feel much more of a full page. I would prefer to have more images, but Luke has hired the images that he wants in, very specific images, and has hired specifically the ones that he wanted. So now it's my job, and I have a very limited selection of what I call template pieces to drop in the back or to layer, that sort of thing. So things like this now, that looks like a more full image than the other. And the problem is it's so wide that I couldn't just put it in a single column and run the column longer, or else I'd start cutting off arms. Does Stygian Devil have an image? Stygian Devil does have an image. Cool. Okay, so let's see what the Stygian Devil looks like. Sorry, I've got buzzes going off everywhere. Stygian Devil. Sorry, the music just went quiet. That's a quiet section of the song. Oh, there's a hefty dude. Fun. So this one, just get rid of the background. Yeah, that is the process. Just figuring out how to make it look good with limited resources. That's the goal, honestly. Brighten him up a bit and darken him up a bit, something like that. So just that little pop of color. So from there to there makes it pop. So just that little bit can help with printing and help look good. This is what 30 years of graphic design gets you. First of all, see, I talk to you folks and I forget what I'm doing. Attention deficit. Ooh, squirrel. Anyways, I need a button where I can just pop a squirrel. Let's see. Attention deficit. Ooh, squirrel. That'd be fun. Yep, so we're now CMYK. We'll save this as the Stygian Devil 2. One of the other things that helps me do this process is the fact that I've been working with Luke for 2 years now, Google over that. And when you work with a creator that long, you start to understand their thought processes and what they want to see. And it actually becomes a great relationship. Should become a great relationship if everybody is doing their if everybody's doing their part. For those of you who know me, for me it's all about building the relationships. And I feel blessed to actually have developed a friendship with Luke. It's not just a business, although we do business together and work well together, but we actually have developed as friends as well, which frankly is great. Oops, wrong way. Step my data. I can't imagine having to go in and set all of these things by hand individually. It just seems backwards to me. But whatever. That's why I took the extra time. All right, now this. Watching Blazing Saddles now? Pretty sure I get banned from TikTok or from Twitch for that. Hey, that worked out. One of the other parts about doing this is being creative in placement. This is where I will show you how I can normally you'd never have anything cover that top header, ever. Just those little bits there, and then I will go ahead and I will throw this finished page. Oh, shoot. Oh, I hope I didn't lose you folks. Yeah, that I went too far on the. I'm kind of curious if I am still streaming now. Can someone say something in the comments to see if I'm still streaming? Okay. So that was. So I use a Mac, and I have my corners set to basically go to blank screen or effectively, yeah, just a blank screen and kind of log out if it sits for too long like that. Thankfully, it didn't sit for too long like that, so I didn't have to log out, but that was fun. I went too far. I have to watch that. And of course, my Finder, which is the Explorer for Windows, Finder for Mac is all the way in the lower left-hand corner. I really should switch that at some point. So you may say, well, Brian, you did the one. What are you going to do for the other? Cool thing is that if you're creative, so there's my interesting shape again. flip it this way. Again, I have to watch to make sure that I don't show so it doesn't look like what it is. It doesn't look like what it looks like. Now, here's where we get into an interesting problem. Because if I do this wrong, yeah, see, that's not going to work. Because if I do this, then it's going to be sitting above this top bar here. Okay. So if I come from this side, there you go. Yeah, but Brian, you're going to cover up the text. No, I'm not. Just trust me. This is absolutely where you get creative. Yeah. I am. I'm using a dual monitor setup, of course, because I need to. But the Mac, when you set up the one corner, it's the same corner on both monitors, which really makes it interesting if you're not careful. So now we're going to multiply. And to get rid of this little crap down here, gradient feather from this corner, from this side, and let that fade in like that. And that's how you do that. All right, so Thanotar. Oh, good, I've got one for that too. All I see in my head with Thanotar is a Minotaur with a Thanos glove. Or like a Minotaur that is with a cloak and a scythe. Let's see how wrong I am. Or right. Okay. The hell is that red? Never mind. So I was wrong. See, just that little touch of levels can make the not so Grim Reaper stand out. Cool. And let's go to CMYK. Save a copy. Nope, I don't want to save a copy. Save as. Do 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 do. which playlist I'm playing. Huh. All right. So this is the fun stuff that I do for other clients. Can't wait. We're working on, so I've been swamped in this for 4 months. Just head down, full steam ahead. Oops, forgot you. And that has taken a lot of bandwidth away between that and the day job, which helps pay the bills. Um, that has taken a lot of bandwidth away from developing stuff. So I'm hoping as we move a little bit further, as I get some of this stuff cleaned up, this part right here is by far going to be the most time consuming part of this entire experience because every one of these needs adjusted. That being said, been looking into developing. Had a cool idea when I was with my minions, actually on the way to TC. A really cool idea about building a game around, if you want to put it in modern day combat stuff, a mercenary team. So you have a pool of characters, all statted out and everything, all created, and then um, when you come to the game session, and this is very much designed to be an episodic solution. When you come to the game session, everybody around the table, you kind of give out the mission, or the GM gives the information of the game, or the night of the session. Hey, this mission is to do X, Y, Z. Well, then the players go through and choose the character that they want to run for that game session. So you have, and it may be, so that allows you to have a larger pool of talent to work with as characters. So if you need that, if we're talking modern day, if you need that thief character, then someone plays a thief. As it is right now in a normal campaign, if you're all playing something and something comes up that you can't do, you group is kind of screwed. But if you go this direction, you can carefully select, or not so carefully select, your crap, that's not what I wanted. That's what I'll do. You can carefully select your team and run with it. So we're testing that idea out right now as we're playtesting Fringe, the sci-fi version, which I'm really excited about because I finally figured out how to do faster than light travel and not copy everybody else and not make it crappy. There we go. Yeah, I like Um, so we're kind of testing out this word creating characters. And as we're creating characters, I'm like, all right, I got to work on this. I got to work on this. I got to work on this. I called David the other night and was like, oh, yeah, I found out this, and this are all wrong in. So we're not nearly as far as we had hoped to be at this point. What did I miss? Okay, that's there. No, I did that. Okay, that one's already done. Okay, that's a white. Okay, those guys are done already. Yeah, you're done. You. All right. I'll have to figure out where you're at. Cool. Actually, not that far from being done with this. Nice. Okay. So yeah, so we're trying that out and having a ball. And the cool thing is that technically, if you play this game with other GMs, you could really run the game, and it doesn't matter who the GM is for the night. I saw a Facebook video, Facebook short or whatever. One of the D&D folks said that they would love to try online, which I think would be kind of fun. A game composed specifically of long-term GMs. Um, yeah, that's very true. You don't always get where you're going, where you hope to be. We know that very well. So you don't run a. So we're, anyways. This guy said he wants to run a game with all long-term experienced GMs, so that literally, when you come to the end of a session, or an arc, or a bit of an arc, an episode basically, where there's a natural point, another GM takes over. So you can't long term plan anything in the campaign, which could be a little tricky. Well, could be tricky for some GMs. If I try to long term plan anything, it goes wrong for everybody in a hurry. But would also mean that you get to play a lot as well, which I think would be invaluable for GMs. Speaking of that, I'm getting to play in a game later tonight. That is, we are testing a new game that is coming to the OLGM fold. Good friend of mine, Troy. Thank you so much. You are the first Prime sub. Thank you so much for that. I appreciate that. Um, Seriously, thank you. But Troy was one of my partners way back when, before we went to Hidden Worlds. He's been a long time friend, and we ended up. What's he doing? He went his own way, amicably split, amicably, and then I developed Hidden Worlds. Well, he's been developing a game. It's a fantasy-based game, and we've been talking a lot about it. and he's coming into the OLGM fold, so it will be published as an OLGM game. He's going to be the lead writer. He's pulling some mechanics from Hidden Worlds, so it'll feel familiar if you play, but it won't be. It's not the same. Numbers are lower, and he's done some different things with it, but it's going to be a really interesting. It's a really fun game. But the best part is that while I'm there to help him develop it and play test it and break it, I'm an original Munchkin, by the way, very much a Munchkin. I get to Munchkin out, so I'm playing a big bruiser in the game tonight. We're doing play testing tonight. Just created the character last night, and I went straight combat, because why not? All melee, but I do have some ranged. No, I don't have ranged. I have thrown. Because no, I'm not a mage by any chance, but I can throw fireball and ice ball. Good. You need to rest, and my prayers will be with you for the surgery. But yeah, my character throws fireballs and ice balls. It's cannonballs, colored yellow for fireballs, and red or blue for ice balls. He feels left out, So he casts fireball. Just happens to be a 5-pound cannonball thrown by someone with superhuman strength. Did I mention I'm a Munchkin? And chaotic by nature. So, looking forward to that. I think the next, we were talking about it, the next discoveries that we're going to run, it's going to be a fun one. So the last discoveries I think we did was the Warner Brothers and Warner Sister as Faye. Because, really, why not? And we got close to a tie-in with the new Stealing Scenes game. And this time around, I think we're actually going to do a tie-in where we're going to create actually a group, much like the kind of group that I was talking about, where we're going to stat out a Stealing Scenes team made of all action movie stunt doubles. And all of them will have some form of magic or special powers, or be something interesting, anyways. Or not. I don't know. We haven't decided any of that, because we try not to decide anything until we actually meet. So that'll be really fun. Oh, Tooth Fairy. I know we've got artwork for the Tooth Fairy. So let's see how bad this Tooth Fairy is. Yeah, that's about right. I dig it. I dig it. Let's see here. Yeah, I dig that Tooth Fairy a lot, actually. Of course, I love the concept of the Tooth Fairies in Hellboy 2, Golden Army. That was fun. So let's see here. We're at 5:14. Still got some time. We convert this to CMYK. Save as. All right. Where are we at? You. All right. That'll work. You're a biggin. So let's pull it in. First of all, let's flip you. Looking this way is more fun. See how big it can get. Almost. Wow. I think fills that up fairly well. Yep. Works for me. Trigonaut. Sounds like a terrible 60s or 70s puppet TV show. Or early 80s cartoon. Alright, stat block data. We. I'm glad that you guys hang out with me. If not, this is very boring. Hopefully, I'm not boring you way too much. Stat inline data. There we go. So, did you folks hear what Patreon has decided to do to its creators? And I only know this because Luke posted a video about it because I'm not on Patreon for a host of reasons. But apparently they sent out a new TOS because to have the Patreon app on iOS, they're being hit. So when you have an app on iOS, if you do any purchasing directly through that app, 30% of that off the top goes to Apple. It's their platform. They do with it. They do it for whatever reason. I mean, we all know the reason, to be fair. But, so Patreon's tired of losing 30% off the top. And they decided that it would be better for the community to, apparently on Patreon, there's 3 ways to donate. You can do pay per creation. So when you release something, it's at a set price, and whoever subscribed to you at that point pays you for that, and you set limits and all that stuff. Anyways, you can do everything unified billing on basically the first, so all of your Patreons come out on the first. Or there's subscription based. So if you were to file it, say today on the 18th, if you join on the 18th, you'll be charged again on the 18th of next month. Which is interesting. I mean, it's great. I have no problem with the separate options. Okay, that's an interesting critter. It's a very interesting critter. It's steampunk meets Cthulhu. I dig it. So anyway, so Patreon decided that not only are they passing this on to their creators, which is fine, they've decided that they are now going to limit everybody and push them all into the billing all at once on the first option. So if a creator has a big following that does the per creation, so a lot of artists, musicians, that sort of folks who have a not necessarily steady stream of stuff, but have enough stuff that people pay when they do, they may very well lose lose patrons, because you may not necessarily want to do $5 a month, $10 a month, or whatever. You may just want the per creation. So it's an interesting process. And Patreon, of course, is putting out that it's all specifically for the betterment of the creators. And apparently they didn't ask any of the creators. So Luke and several other creators are asking you to contact Patreon and say, hey, don't be stupid. They're also saying, and I do not recommend canceling your Patreon for support, because a lot of those creators need that income. That's how they make income. That is part of their business model. But it's just another case of big corporation basically is telling independent creators, go take a flying leap. And they'll gladly take your money, but you don't have any choice in what they do with it. Which sucks, frankly. Um, yeah, so that's fun. So while we're on the subject of games and giant corporations that are jerks, to put it nicely, on this platform, has anyone looked at the new D&D stuff? I have not. I don't care to. I won't buy the book, especially for the stupid prices they're apparently charging for it. Someone told me it was $250 for the to pre-order the book. Could be wrong, but if I'm not, that seems a bit excessive. Yeah. So if you've even looked at the new D&D one, I've heard a lot of stuff about it. I've not, like I said, I have no idea because I've not played with it. Not only because, frankly, I don't care about it. Don't get me wrong, I don't mind making a living off of, or part of a living, off of laying out D&D and Pathfinder 2 stuff. And I have no problem if someone chooses D&D or whatever. I may question their taste in games, but we often play, a lot of times that's kind of the only game that they know or have the opportunity to play, or that's the game they were brought up on. That was my entry to the drug that is tabletop. I was way back with the original OG red box with the awesome new D20 that was completely clear that you couldn't read the numbers on. It was that clear. So I had to crayon the dice or the die. Back in my day, sorry, channeling Pepper's Farm there, but yeah. Oh, this music's gonna put me to sleep. What the heck am I listening to? No, 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 no. Sorry for the jarring shift. I'm changing soundtracks. Let's go to that one. All right. Oh, that's interesting. Um, there it is. So that was weird. I'm learning all kinds of new things today. So I outgrew the small stream box or stream deck from Elgato. I found out they have a iPad app which allows me to create up to 5x8 or 6x8 buttons. So 48 buttons per panel. I needed more buttons anyways, so use that. Apparently, when everything is hooked up, if I hold my mouse right, it goes down to the iPad. So that brief little action there. Yeah, that was absolutely me trying to figure out how to get my mouse back. All right, I'm kind of surprised we haven't gone to any new ads yet. Kind of really surprised actually. I don't have my desktop open in front of me because it's too distracting. All right. My guess is we'll go to ads in the next 5 minutes or so. Complete guess, by the way. We'll see. And I know the ads are terrible. I hate to do it, but that's what happens when you get an affiliate. And instead of doing a 30-second ad every like 15 or 20 minutes, I chose to do one 1.5 minute ad. 3-minute ad. I don't remember. Every hour. So what am I doing here? Oh, okay, that's regular. Wow. Veli? Do I have Velis? I do have Velis. Cool. All right, what does my Veli look like? I don't see a Veli. Yep, ad break in 3 minutes. So, see if I can track down a Veli. Okay. Bitter Veli, Yearning Veli. Why is medium? Of course. I wonder if that's the morning Veli. Why did you open Media Encoder? Anyways. Gotta be. Ghouls of the Mist. Mist Ghoul. That's it. Hell is Morn. must be it. Isn't he a handsome devil? Oh, good. Jumped early. Great. Cool. Thanks for the heads up, Danielle. Oh, and we're back. Okay. I really got to figure out how to trigger those myself just to actually trigger them on time. All right. So apparently we went away and we're back, and the Veli is not listed as a Veli. It's listed as a Mist Gould, which is fine. Let me just get rid of all the crap. We will change the profile. Oh, that was a weird profile. All right, whatever. Who is a handsome devil here? Yes. And Violent Sheep, thank you for sticking with us. Appreciate it. So let's go to where am I going? Oh, that's right. Are you already? Yes, I changed you already. So let's save you. Save as. No, I better leave it the same. So, all right, let's see here. Let's do this. Doggone it. There's no artwork for the Were Shark. That's a bummer. Now I'm disappointed. That would have been funny. What if I do that? Yeah, that'll work. All right, you little handsome devil here. Not. I think someone skipped their appointment with a stylist. See if I can make this work. Hey, that worked. Cool. That's even better. Sweet. Veli mates there. Actions. That's bite and claw. Yearning. It's bite and claw. Location. Blah, 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 blah. Nope, that's not it. So I have. Oh, why did that? Okay, so you guys have been seeing. I didn't realize that the freaking um. Wow. I didn't realize that all of the InDesign stuff had not been changing this entire time. Okay. Probably since I accidentally screwed it up. Okay, that's great. So I've been sitting here talking for an hour and a half or so, an hour or so, and you guys haven't been able to see anything that I've done. Is it actually going out? I don't even know. Danielle, is it actually a static screen behind me? Um, dang. Well, this has been fun. I don't know how to solve that problem. What's that? Okay. Um, well, it appears, at least from this end, from my end, that the whole time I've been talking to you, at least for quite a while now, the screen back in the background. Let's see. Let me see if this works. Hang on a second. Yeah, it looks like the scene in back of me has been stacked the whole time. I have been doing a lot, actually a lot. I think I've done about 25 pages since then, or 20 pages since then. Maybe not. Okay. Um, so, with that being said, I think I am going to go ahead and call it a night because apparently, once I accidentally set it off the screen, OBS is wigging out and won't show my InDesign. So it won't update at all. I mean, I'm sure you guys saw, at least, hopefully, saw. Yeah, now it's not even updating anything for me. Nifty. So of course all that's going on. I've got no. All right. Um Technical difficulties. Always technical difficulties. I can't get away from them here. Anyways, see, I'm totally thrown off my rhythm. But thank you all for joining me. Danielle, thank you so much for doing an awesome job as a moderator today, letting me know. Heather, aka Violent Sheep, I think that's right. Thank you so much for joining me, and for check us out on Wednesdays for certain. Join the discussion and join the world building, and we'll be here next Sunday. I don't know if I'll still be doing this or if we will be doing a mystery OLGM Theater 2K, which is where we've started reviewing, rewatching the original episodes that we did on YouTube for the Restore Core, which has been fun to reminisce as well. That's more of a full cast or a partial cast thing, where we just watch and legit. Next time I got to get popcorn because frankly it's really fun to watch. So next Sunday will either be that or more one-legged design. Thank you so much. Have a great week. And again, thank you so much, Heather, for the subscription. That is a reminder, if you have Amazon Prime, if you're not using your Prime subscription on Twitch, it's free. So if you have Amazon Prime, you can subscribe to a Twitch channel for free. Doesn't cost you money, but I still get paid for it. We still get paid for it because I do share revenue with the folks who are on the stream. So, anyways, thank you so much. We will see you all hopefully Wednesday. Cross fingers. Hopefully Wednesday we'll see you. Have a great week. Have a great game. We'll see you on the flip side.